box blade that you put behind there. But those things are easily fixed. You guys can use ones of those. You guys have a roller. And you guys have a hot mix machine that would help with small patches, but you couldn't go out and do this whole block with that hot mix machine, right, Mike?
That's correct.
It would just be, it would take forever. So we've helped like City of Hamilton, a lot of the small cities, De Leon, we found them like a surface paver. It's a small machine that basically helps them pave. Used ones of those are like $20,000. So you guys can do that stuff, or some of the cities will actually say, we're gonna do the prep work. We're gonna take our zipper, we're gonna get the whole road ready, and then we're gonna have a contractor come in and do a double chip for us. And that's possible too. You know, you're gonna pay a little bit more because you're paying a contractor, they need to make money and stuff, but there's ways that you guys can do this. So, any questions so far? I feel like I'm just babbling on and everybody's just like, yeah.
No, continue.
Okay. All right. So that's a saying that we have, turn crap into rap. Cracked, rutted, alligator roads like you guys have, like all the cities have. And you see that picture on the right? That's what it's all about, being able to take a bad road and turn it into something reusable. Instead of hauling, you already paid for that road once. Again, don't haul it off and dump it. Turn it into something reusable. I was talking to Mike too about some projects. So if you're doing a small patch and you got a curb here and a curb here, and you go in and you zip it all up and you create all of this wrap, sometimes you have to remove some of it. So you remove some of it, you'll use it on a shoulder or alleyway or something like that. But then, like jobs out here, you may bring that stuff back to this job because we need some more material. So it's just all about, and again, you don't have to have a zipper to do that. I mean, I guess you don't have to, but the other alternatives are paying for a contractor's machine or buying something that's $700,000, which we don't want to do.
Well, you gotta have something to grind. If you're gonna reuse it, you gotta have something.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
can't come in with a blade and tear it up, or a backhoe and tear it
No.
up. You're not gonna be able to reuse the material again.
Yeah, and you would never get good material like that. You could break it and kind of hide it somewhere, but you're not going to get good base. That just talks about recycling that old road and turning it into something useful. I'm going to go through this kind of fast because I don't want to, I want to leave time for questions, but there's basically 3 proven approaches to fixing a road. You can come in and grind that old road and turn it into base material and just use that, and that's called basic stabilization. Or there's mechanical stabilization where you bring in some more gravel with it and grind it all together. And then there's chemical stabilization where some roads where you're just having a tough time, you'll bring in some Portland cement or lime or some kind of thing that you mix into it, and it really hardens that base, keeps the water out, and that's what probably most people do because it's pretty easy. If you're going to zip it, it's easy to put down some bags of Portland cement and zip that in with it and get a good base. So this kind of goes through all of those things, just explains all of those processes. So you can fix small patches, city blocks, full roads. We have asphalt zippers that are 42 inches wide and 8 feet wide. You guys don't need the huge machines. But shoulders, surface milling, you can mill with it. You can even do utility trenching. I don't know who does your trenching, but you know, so let's see. We covered that, gravel roads, parking lots. So this is a big one to pay attention right here. And again, this has nothing to do with asphalt zipper actually. So you see that first one there, that first little bar graph, the little tiny ones at the bottom, it says temporary repairs. And that's where we're talking about crack sealing, putting, filling up potholes with a cold mix or hot mix, really temporary repairs.
We can't read what the colors mean.
Okay, so I'm afraid to push something.
No, just read it. What's blue mean?
Okay, so blue that's basically the cost of doing that type of repair.
Okay, so what's the yellow mean?
And that's how long the repair lasts. So, you know, and sometimes we crack steel because we only have this amount of money and we just gotta get that thing to last another year or two, or just things like that. The second one says mill and fill. That's when you come into a bad road, you just mill down an inch or two, get rid of that stuff and fill it in with asphalt. And that lasts a lot longer than the other temporary ones. It's a little bit more expensive. And you see that third one over there with those two bar graphs that are the same? That's the total reconstruction. That's when somebody would come in, rip out the old road, rip out some of the base, bring in new base, compact it, do all that stuff, and add pavement to it. And that's the most expensive, but it's the best. It lasts longest. The one on the right is if you do full depth reclamation, where you recycle the old road in place and turn it into base and leave it right there on the road. And again, you don't have to have an asphalt zipper to do that process on the right. That's just when you reuse the material instead of hauling it off and wasting it. So, any questions on that? Again, I just feel like everybody doing all right back here? All right. We're almost done. That just talks about, we have some small cities, 700 people. This is the city of Walsh here that used to get nothing done. They got an asphalt zipper. Now they just do 2 blocks a year. But that's a lot more than they did before for the 700 people in their city. I'm not going to go through that. If you guys don't do that, you're already a member of HGAC. Again, this is some asphalt zipper stuff. So they come with all the stuff you need, trailers, everything, but the best thing that it comes with, and this is why I think we have 400 plus asphalt zipper owners in Texas. Because the gentleman who couldn't come, the reason I came is Barry Dill. He's born and raised Texan. He's been working with cities and counties here for 17 years. And he doesn't come and deliver equipment and give you the keys and say, here you go. He comes and says, let's get to work. Let's figure out your roads. I'm going to tell you what I've seen these guys do. I'm going to have you call, you know, this other guy over here. So this isn't about just buying a piece of equipment. This is about helping you guys get better roads. And it's just going to come down to, are we happy with our roads right now, or are we ready to do something about it? If you're ready to do something about it, then we work with Mike. We say, hey, this is the best way you can reshape your roads for the budget you have. You know, for now, we're just going to do some small patches and use your hot mix machine to do those. Eventually, I'm going to show you a video here in a second where you guys could be. Now, did JD from Seguin come to your guys' meeting? He just chatted with a couple of you guys. So
I talked to him.
okay. So Seguin, you guys know Seguin, Texas. It's been 6 or 7 years. We were in a meeting just like this with those guys. And they took it, ran with it. They just started. He had a little roller, he had an asphalt zipper, and he was just doing smaller patches. And they were hand patching it. They didn't even have a hot mix machine or hot patch machine. They would just take it, dump it, and then their guys would spread it out and they would roll it and compact it. So let's see if it's up here. That's just the savings. Seguin, I know they're different than you guys, but in the last 6.5, 7 years, they've saved $8 million by doing stuff in-house versus contracting out. I know you're just like, what? It's not impossible, but they have. And that just talks about cost savings of doing, you know, full depth reclamation. More things that I've talked about there, longer lasting repairs. And this is the full depth reclamation. There's the asphalt zipper that most of the cities that have backhoes get. Who is it? Somebody just called us today to get an asphalt zipper. This one that's around you guys. Coralville? No. Dang, who's Casterville? Yeah, and I don't know if maybe they're a huge city, so that doesn't resonate with you guys, but this is the one that they're looking at getting So I just want you to watch this. Okay, so we really need the volume for this. Is this the highest we can go?
It's only coming off of here.
Oh, let's see. Anybody can help? Because I can't say this as well as JD can say it. Maybe there's a volume on the back. Coming to the rescue.
Part of the myeloprotection is a blood pressure
Oh,
function.
that's not JD.
Heart rate is 70, 11 respirations per minute.
Not bad.
Has to be closed. I don't know.
Is there anything on the back of the TV that we can just?
We have a longer auxiliary port.
Okay.
We just watch.
Well, let's just go for it, and I'll try and explain it.
But JD said he would come here and help us with whatever we need.
Oh yeah, JD's the best. He's helped so many of our cities just get going and know how to do this stuff. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I'm just gonna play this. So there's a road that JD did in their town, and you'll see pictures of it. Looks very similar to the roads out here. And he's just talking about how before they got an asphalt zipper, all that they did is just went around and filled in some potholes and did a few things. His city was willing to, and his council was willing to just, hey, we're gonna get you what we need, but we need to start a little slow because we don't have all the money we want. So he's just talking about it's a much faster process, so the residents aren't out of their house for 2 weeks, it's only a few days because the zipper's so fast.
So they did that whole road in a couple of days?
This one here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, you guys got it right back there. Yeah, he says in here somewhere, this would have taken us, well, they ended up extending it, and they did it in 2 weeks, would have took them 3 months. That's what he says in here, so. But this road out here from block to block